Game Week 5 could be the wildcard week. It would be pretty wrong to make a wildcard team with 0 Liverpool players, would it not?
It's such a crazy thing to say.
Right, well, I am thinking about wildcarding this week. It may have to be done, and I have a very good reason for why I think Game Week 5 could be the wildcard week when, maybe it wasn't in the original plans. This is the team I have come up with for a wildcard in Game Week 5. And first of all, I'll tell you why a Game Week 5 wildcard might be better for some people rather than a Game Week 6 free hit. Because that was the original plan for me. And the main reason for that, and why it's a Game Week 5 wildcard and not a Game Week 6 wildcard as well, is because of the triple captainship. There is no player in better form in the Premier League than Erling Haaland right now. He's about to face Burnley at home in Game Week 6. If you are wildcarding or free hitting in Game Week 6, that locks you out of your triple captain. If you want a triple captain, you need to leave Game Week 6 free of chips. So maybe if your team is maybe not in the best spot right now, can you build a team in Game Week 5 using the wildcard that is better than your current team in Game Week 5, as well as being good for those future game weeks as well? And this is what I came up with. So in goal, we have either Raya or Dubravka. Not sure who will play. It is a home game for Arsenal, and Arsenal are typically fairly fixture-proof defensively. They are just as likely to concede to Man City as maybe they are West Ham in a couple of weeks, to be honest. It's just the Arsenal way.
That is such a crazy thing to say.
It's true, though.
It's ridiculous.
It's so true.
That is ridiculous.
I know it sounds stupid on paper.
Ridiculous.
But it is true. I mean, think about the goals that Arsenal have conceded so far this season. As a kind of a silly free kick against Liverpool, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Your statement was they are just as likely.
Yeah.
They are not just as likely to keep a clean sheet against Man City.
Like the difference is minimal.
I think the difference is massive.
I don't think so.
Man City will put up an XG of at least 0.8.
Yeah, sure.
At the very least.
That's good enough to keep a clean sheet.
That's unlikely. That means you're almost, I mean, I would say
Top
almost
goalkeeper.
guaranteed. But look, it's not.
Is that controversial to say?
It is extremely. It's like saying Haaland is fixture proof. He's not.
No, he's not.
Because nobody is.
Because he's about to play Arsenal and he's unlikely to score against Arsenal, which is exactly what I'm saying.
No. Yes, but Arsenal are also playing Man City, where they are unlikely to keep a clean sheet against Man City.
But what I'm saying is that Arsenal are more defensively fixture-proof than maybe some other teams. Okay, maybe saying
that I will accept.
Maybe saying the same like Man City versus West Ham. Maybe that is an exaggeration. I'll hold my hands up. But what I am saying is, if Liverpool play Man City and West Ham, there is a big difference between their chances of a clean sheet between those two fixtures. If Arsenal play those same two fixtures, there is going to be a difference, but it's going to be much smaller difference because, Arsenal can, decide to play in certain negative ways that us Arsenal fans are, we care about the results. So we don't care about the good football, always. Sometimes a set-piece goal and 1-0 is all you need.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what we tell ourselves. So either Raya or Dubravka in goal. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. That could go either way. The defence, however, is a 3-man defence for Game Week 5, which would be Virgil against Everton, double Crystal Palace defence in Lacroix and Richards away against West Ham. I think that's a really good chance of a clean sheet there. In midfield, we've got Semenyo, Palmer, Kudus, and Paqueta. I think Kudus could potentially be Njai as well here. And up front, we've got Haaland, Joao Pedro, and Gyökeres, with a bench of Dubravka, as we mentioned, Dewsbury Hall, who plays against Liverpool this week, Senesi against Newcastle, and Goodmanson against Wolves. Wouldn't mind trying to upgrade Goodmanson to a 4.5. Not exactly sure how I would do that. Would have to be a downgrade somewhere. I think probably Virgil would maybe be a player I would downgrade here. We go for a 5.5, 5 million.
Why
defender.
are you going for Virgil?
I think this team is really looking at those DEFCON monsters.
What about Tarkowski then?
He has been, but I don't trust Everton as much defensively, particularly with the fixtures that they have. I don't think there's going to be too many clean sheets up for grabs for Everton. Maybe outside of Game Week 6 and 7 look okay for clean sheets, but outside of that, long term, not so hot, particularly when you're spending 5.5. You do need fixtures if you're targeting a team like Everton. That's just my opinion, though. But yeah, look, Virgil could go down to someone like
Anderson.
Tarkowski. Anderson doesn't really have a lot of fixtures I like right now, but
Neither does Virgil, though, and that defense is awful.
it's awful right now. Liverpool defense saying it's awful is maybe a little harsh.
Okay, again, maybe we are on the stick to exaggerations.
Yeah, sure. but I think they are also improving week on week. Well, they didn't put up a bad defensive performance against Arsenal game week 3. I mean, Burnley is maybe not as much of a test, but didn't concede a huge amount of chances. So I think game on game, I think they will get better and better. Kirkes hasn't been quite at it yet. They haven't had a fit right back. They've been playing Szoboszlai there. First game they didn't have Gravenberch. So I don't think Liverpool have been amazing so far this season. But I think it's fair to say their defense is showing some promise. Going into the future, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But it would be pretty wrong to make a wildcard team with 0 Liverpool players, would it not? Would that be too mad?
Yeah, I mean,
I felt like I needed to have 1 Liverpool player in there.
I'd go for a Gakpo, but you can't afford it. And even then, the rotation concerns. It doesn't feel right to have a 6.1 million Virgil just for some DEFCON when they might keep 2 clean sheets, but then the fixtures are quite a bit rough after that.
Yeah, they do pick up a lot from kind of game week 12, 13 onwards, but there is a little rough run coming up for Liverpool pretty soon. So maybe that could be avoided entirely, and that would free up a bit of budget as well.
So my missus wildcarded this weekend.
Yeah.
And the wildcard that I completely did not do for her looks very similar to
what are the similarities of the team you built last week then?
It's very similar. She is anti-Haaland, so essentially it's Haaland out for, I think it was a Mateta.
How can you be anti-Haaland?
She's anti-Haaland.
Fair enough.
She's anti-Palmer, anti-Haaland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did, but maybe you can...
Palmer hasn't scored all season.
All
year, sorry.
Until this weekend.
Yeah, but he didn't start.
Yeah, true.
But she has been rightly anti-Palmer since the start of this year.
Fair enough.
And I wish I listened to her through the second half of last season. But I think she's probably gonna change her tune on Haaland in a couple of weeks. But right now, she's essentially gone for this team without Virgil, with Porro, I believe, and then Haaland and Kudus out for Salah and Mateta, I think it was.
Okay.
And I think the bench is virtually the same as what you've got here. The only problem I have with it is it looked good last week. This week, it just looks bad.
Yeah, and this is the one thing that is maybe holding me back from pulling the trigger on the wild card. This is not a great team for Game Week 5. No. This is a team of informed players for Game Week 5, players who look pretty good right now, but they pretty much all have rough fixtures outside of maybe the defenders. Maybe, Palmer, João Pedro, fine, but Haaland and Gyökeres against each other, Reyes against City, Semenyo against Newcastle, who have put up the best defensive numbers so far this season. Kudus against Brighton, it's not bad, but it's not amazing. And Paqueta against Crystal Palace, I'm not convinced by that one really at all. So it's a big decision. Do we pick the informed players who, for the best part, have rough fixtures this week, or do we stick with what we've got and hope things improve very quickly?
My only thing about using a chip like a wild card or even a free hit is you want to have a certain degree of confidence that it's going to outscore your current team, and it's hard to have that.
Yeah,
it's hard to have that with this, and this team is a better team.
Yeah, no, of course it's a better team.
It's a lot better of a team, but I think it's been 4 weeks. There's been sort of this whole theme of defenders being massively outperforming other players. It's been very low scoring, and I remember 2 or 3 years ago something similar happened to this, where a lot of people, I think big at the back was even a thing. I think it was like Trent, Robbo, Cancelo type season.
Sure.
And it wasn't them, but loads of defenders were just killing it. And eventually it just normalized a little bit. And I suspect we may be in for a bit of a sort of adjustment at some point. Maybe not this week, maybe not even this month, but it'll probably happen. It's not normal for the Premier League to have this few goals.
Yeah. 10 clean sheets in one game week is crazy.
It's mental.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think if I was in your shoes, I would pull the trigger. But I would want someone to tell me to just exercise patience. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but
yeah, it does. I'm not convinced by this because ideally this is a team you wildcard in Game Week 6.
Yeah, this is a great Game Week 6 wildcard.
But if you wildcard in Game Week 6, you can't triple captain Haaland.
Haaland will play West Ham. He'll play Wolves. He'll play Sunderland.
Yeah. So there are some other opportunities, but it just seems like Burnley, I would say, are the worst team in the Premier League right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They just kept out Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't think they keep out Man City in the same way. And, like, you know, they have conceded a lot of chances. I think Liverpool took 20-plus shots in that game, and it was just a case of, I think, only 2 or 3 were on target, and that's including the penalty. So, you know, they did concede chances in that game, and they've conceded many, many more chances in previous games as well. I think if I've got a triple captainship and I'm not planning another chip in Game Week 6, it is, like, the most obvious triple captain week for the first half of the season.
Yeah. I would say, I think Game Week, I would say, is it 17 and 19 are also decent for Haaland?
So we've got West Ham at home in Game Week 17, Sunderland away in Game Week 19.
Yeah.
So we've got Leeds at home in Game Week 13 as well, if you fancied that one.
Yeah.
So there are other options.
Yeah.
And, like, as we know from last season, the best, you know, triple captain week on paper is not always the one that actually pays off. I mean, what was it last season?
Ipswich at home was Game Week 2, and then it was Southampton at home that he blanked.
Yeah. So no, it was Southampton. He generated something like 2.7 xG and scored once. I think it was a 6-pointer for a lot of people triple captain at home against Southampton, myself included. So it doesn't, even in the best fixtures, it doesn't always go the way you think it will.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got to play the odds, right? And the odds look pretty good for Haaland in Game Week 6. So that's basically my argument for a Game Week 5 wildcard. Can a team of better form players with weaker fixtures compete with your current Game Week 5 team? If they can, and it opens up that opportunity for a triple captain in Game Week 6, is it worth just going for it now rather than holding off? And I think there is definitely some consideration to be made there. I don't know if I'll do it yet.
I'll press your narrative on one last point.
Go ahead.
So, Haaland against Burnley, phenomenal fixture. Want that, very important. Play the odds. You've got 2 attackers against a great fixture this week in your current team. You don't want those odds.
Yeah, well, Haaland is putting up incredible numbers. It looks incredible, looks so sharp. And Watkins and Rodgers don't.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah, and I think particularly with forward players, form is so important. Arguably more important than fixtures. Well, definitely more important than fixtures, I would say.
Ooh, that's an interesting FPL point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fixtures over form, or form over fixtures.
I think for defenders, fixtures over form. For attackers, form over fixtures. Like, you fancy Joao Pedro to score against Liverpool in a couple of weeks because he's just been in such good form, even though the fixture might not necessarily be there.
I'm form over fixtures in a one-game shootout. Fixtures over form in a longer run.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And a wildcard is for the longer run, right? So. There, and the wildcard team has good fixtures over the long run. But anyway, that is my wildcard team. That is what's currently going through my head in terms of wildcard. I don't know if I'll do it or not, but it's something that I need to strongly consider. If you enjoyed that clip, there's plenty more where that came from. Full podcast episodes can be found on the Stick to FPL YouTube channel or on all good podcast platforms such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Go check it out for much more FPL Mate and FPL Sim content with Stick to FPL.